Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just want to start this video by quickly apologising that I didn't have a video uploaded last week. I had a really bad cold, I had a really high temperature, and I just wasn't well enough to film or edit or anything like that. I had a couple of days off work as well. So I hope you understand why I didn't have a video last week. I'm still not feeling 100%, I'm still full of cold and I'm really lacking in energy, but I wanted to get this video filmed today. Last week on my Instagram and Twitter, which I will leave links for in the description box if you want to go and follow my ramblings on there, I did a poll and asked whether you wanted to see the fictional boyfriend tag or my favourite book couples for a video near Valentine's Day. The voting was really close, but when I added the votes together across the two polls, the favourite book couples video just won. So let's get started talking about my favourite book couples. The first book that I want to talk to you about is My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. The couple I want to talk to you about are Samantha and Jace, and they are just so cute together, and for me this is the perfect YA romance. This book has a kind of forbidden love element to it, a little bit like Romeo and Juliet, because Samantha's mum would not approve of Jace, but they are just so adorable and I love the way that they come together as a couple. The next couple come from Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. If you haven't read this series and you don't want to know about the couples in this book yet, then do turn it on to mute until I hold the next book up. But the couple that I want to talk about in this are Cale and Irene. Cale has always been one of my favourite characters since the start of the series, so I love that there is a whole book that focuses on him, but I love the relationship that he builds up with Irene in this one. I love how this book starts with Irene trying to heal Cale and how they fall in love with each other slowly throughout it. For me, they are just a perfect couple and I cannot wait to read more about them in the next book. Also, if you want to watch a complete spoiler-free review about this book, I will leave a link for it in the description box for you. Another couple that I love are Sydney and Ridge from Baby Someday by Colleen Hoover. In this story, it starts with Sydney going home and finding her then boyfriend cheating with her best friend. Sydney then meets Ridge, who is a great friend for her in her time of need. Sydney and Ridge then bond over music because Ridge is a musician and is currently writing music, and Sydney writes the lyrics for him. The truly unique part about this blossoming love story though is that Ridge is deaf, and the way that these two communicate through music and other means is just beautiful. Another favourite book couple of mine are Kath and Levi from Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Kath is just one of my favourite book characters of all time anyway, because I see so many similarities between myself and her. But I just love the way that Levi comes into her life and the way that they interact with each other, and the way that Levi just brings Kath out of her shell a little bit more. For me, this is just the perfect embodiment of college romance. My next favourite book couple are America and Maxon from the Selection series by Kira Cass. For me, these books are almost like my guilty pleasure. I just love the characters and the way they come together, and I could reread these books over and over again. I love the way that America is brought into this world of princes and castles through a competition. It has that classic YA love triangle, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I absolutely love. I also love the way the relationship builds throughout this story, because America is not bothered about being with Prince Maxon at all when we first meet her, but by the end of the book she's completely fallen in love with him. Also, Prince Maxon is just the most amazing person anyway. He is such a gentleman and I love his story. The next fictional couple that I want to talk to you about are Karis and Max from Hold Back the Stars by Katie Khan. I do have a short spoiler-free book review for this one. If you want to watch it, then I will leave a link in the description box, but this is just such a unique love story. Karis and Max are stuck in space with only 90 minutes of oxygen left, so as far as love stories go, theirs is pretty dramatic. I cried multiple times whilst reading this book, and I'm not going to tell you anything about the ending, but I highly recommend that you go and read this. The next book couple that I want to talk to you about are Eden and Tyler from the book series Did I Mention I Love You? In a similar way to My Life Next Door, this book contains a forbidden love element because Tyler is Eden's stepbrother. There are so many ups and downs in Eden and Tyler's love story, and it's about how they deal with their feelings for each other and how they approach their family with it as well. I always found myself rooting for the two of them though, and they are actually two of my favourite YA book characters ever written. Next we have the characters of Sophie and Billy from Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher. This is one of my favourite books of all time. I absolutely love this storyline. It's very similar to something that I started writing when I was doing my creative writing course for university. Sophie lives in a small village and works at a tea shop, but falls in love with a megastar actor when he comes into town to shoot a new movie. This story follows the couple as Sophie tries to deal with being in the spotlight and the attention that comes with dating a movie star. I'm not going to spoil it for you and tell you anything about it, but I will say that their first date is the most romantic thing I have ever read in my life. Another couple that I love are Mateo and Rufus from They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Mateo and Rufus are doomed from the start of this story as they receive the death pass call to tell them that they are going to die within the next 24 hours. Using a website, the two of them find each other and decide to spend their last day together. The more time Mateo and Rufus spend together, the more they fall in love with each other. But it is a very emotional story because, as the title suggests, they will both die at the end. So although it was a very brief and fast romance to read about, it was a beautiful one. And the final book couple that I want to talk to you about is another one from a series, so if you haven't read these two books in the Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas, then I suggest you put this on mute again. So obviously the couple I want to talk to you about if you have read this is Rhysand and Feyre. So if you've read these books then you will know that Feyre and Rhysand are mates and they fall madly in love with each other over the course of these two books, and I was just a weeping mess during book 3. I won't tell you why. If you want to watch a spoiler-free review, I do have one that I've filmed, so I'll leave a link in the description box. And then at the end of that video there is a spoiler section if you want to hear me talk about these in a little bit more detail. Honestly, I could just waffle on about these books and these characters all day, but I will try and keep this brief. For me, these are just one of those book couples that are just meant to be, but unfortunately there are lots of elements that are trying to pull them apart. They are just so well written and they are perfect. I love them. So those were 10 of my favourite book couples. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'd also love to know who your favourite book couples are, so feel free to share yours in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week with another video. Bye!